The process is over. Is ending. Is it? I don't know. Got to talk about this Joel Embiid situation a little bit to kick off trending in the AM today. Plus, we got plenty of Eagles conversations to have why I'm not scared of the new wide receiver in the NFC East. Sixers, Eagles, anything else you want to talk about? We're live in 30 seconds.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 woo!
And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM, right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube, Twitter, you know the drill. Wherever you are watching, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, share the show out, tell one, tell all. Trending in the AM, the number one sports morning show in Philadelphia, the only show where your opinions actually matter. The race to 500 subscribers, we passed 450. We are now less than 50 away from 500. The slow crawl. The 500 is almost on. So please, it's free to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share it out, guys. I'd greatly appreciate it. We got lots on the agenda today. Joel Embiid has officially been shut down for the season by the 76ers. It's official. It's officially official. It's something that should have happened a long time ago and did not. And the reason why I want to talk about it is, two parts that I want to cover. One, is this the end? Are we never going to see Joel Embiid again in the Sixers uniform? In an NBA uniform, period? I don't know. I think that's an interesting conversation to have there. What I also want to talk about is why and how did we get to the point where Joel Embiid has been so frustrated with his rehab and so frustrated with this team that he had to go around his coach, around his GM, and go to the owner himself and be like, yo, this isn't working. Like, we're at the point where we're tattletaling on the bosses to the boss's bosses. But that's how clueless the bosses are. Like, this whole situation just stinks. The way it's being reported that he had to go to Josh Harris himself to question the plan put in place by Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey and the medical team. And it's crazy to me, completely crazy to me that is what, how this is, coming full circle here, right now, here in 2025. So we're going to talk a lot about that today because I am just confused and fascinated at the same time. And it's just one of those things that just doesn't make sense. So we're going to talk about that. Eagles related. First topic on the Eagles board today and this week. The Washington Commanders went out and traded for Deebo Samuels from the San Francisco 49ers. And Washington fans saying, well, the division's theirs now because they traded for Deebo. And I'm not scared one bit. Am I crazy for not being scared? So that's what the topics are to start the day off. We'll see how the show goes. First comment of the day from Marie Launch. What is up, my man? The process ended when Hinkie got forced out. It's been a Three Stooges since. Yes, okay. So there's two different processes. There's the process, which was Sam Hinkie's philosophy of acquiring assets to acquire star players. That ended when Hinkie left. Yeah, sure. But also the process is Joel Embiid because, he nicknamed himself the process. So, when I'm using the process here, I'm more talking about Joel Embiid than the process. Because, yes, I feel like the mic is super far away today. Can't get it to the right angle. The process was about acquiring assets to acquire star players. The process ended when we traded for Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris. Good morning, Duck. Hope you had a great weekend. Hinkie's only mistake was being honest about process so the fans would stick around during no losing season. I preferred Hinkie's honesty than what the Sixers organization has done this year. And the fact that the Sixers organization still feels like Joel Embiid's pain level can be managed and tolerated with injections and rehab and go out there every fifth or sixth game and play to sell tickets, fans would be more open to going to Sixers games if there was just more honesty. Now that there's a little bit of honesty, maybe, and then the Sixers go out this weekend and Quentin Grimes drops 44 and they win a game against the Warriors that they're supposed to lose. Even losing, the Sixers organization can't do 100% or right. But just think about that. Hinkie was honest. This current crop of Sixers management is not honest. This current crop of Sixers management wants to try to make Joel Embiid play through pain that is so bad that doctors are talking about breaking his hip bone to alleviate some of the pain in his knee. Just comprehend that in your head a little bit. Let's break a hip to fix a knee, to make the knee better, not fix it. But yet this Sixers team wants him to keep going out there and playing on it. Dope up a little bit. Put an injection in there. You'll be good to go. Because maybe if we make the playoffs, maybe we sell another ticket or two. Embiid will never play for the Sixers again and will suddenly be healthy enough to play wherever he ends up. So, Duck, and I appreciate the comment here because I think there's a lot in this one simple comment here. I don't know if Embiid will ever play for the Sixers again, okay? It is going to be very hard to find a team willing to take him on. And that is despite his contract. Not even counting the contract or the trade return for that. The contract itself is untradeable with this knee. You're not going to be able to convince another team that knee is healthy. You're just not, unless he plays again. So I don't know how you trade him. But I don't think he'll ever be healthy enough to play again in the NBA, at least at the level he's used to. Joel Embiid is cooked. He's done. I see a scenario. There is this talk about the medical exemption. I don't think it's been used often, but there is a clause that you can apply for a medical exemption to not force a guy into retirement, but help him get his contract, but save your cap space. That wasn't a good sound. I think one of the springs is coming loose on my mic, and that's why I can't get it right. They're literally talking about a medical exemption with Joel Embiid. So the fact that he might not ever play for the Sixers again, probably not. But it won't be because he's traded. There's a chance he just has to call it a career. And honestly, I wouldn't be upset with him for doing that. The dude's got to think of quality of life. His quality of life is not going well right now. A good, very good Bazoot and Hoot morning to you as well, K1. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. I hope you were one of those people that bet Joe Highsmith to win the Cognizant Classic. I am not cognizant of anybody that bet him. But, yeah, it was a fun golf day yesterday. That course really was entertaining around the Bear Trap there this weekend. But, back to Joe. I could see a path where Joel Embiid never steps foot on a basketball court again. And that leads me to feel bad. That leads me to feel a little pity on the guy. Because let's be honest, he's been frustrated as all hell, for sure. Absolutely. But he also has played through countless injuries, countless struggles. It's been tough. So I feel bad for Joel to an extent. Embiid's career is going like Matthew Vaughn's Cognizant Classic, just backwards. Now, I would Embiid's career is going the route of Jake Knapp on the 15th hole in round 4, whatever hole that was. Only those in the know. No. Yeah, no, you're welcome. We'll get to movies later, but no, there's no 007 announcement yet. Embiid playing almost 70 games in 22-23 so he could win MVP was such a stupid decision. That's an interesting point there. That's a random point. Like, I wasn't thinking about that. Everyone likes to blame the Olympics. You're blaming the 70 games in 22-23. That's interesting there, Anthony, that you bring that up. But the guy's played through broken faces, ligament damage. The guy has toughed it out for like 8 years, 7 years. But we should have seen this coming. I mean, we drafted a guy that didn't play his first 2 years. In his third year, he only played 31 games. We had to know that this was going to be a very short window with Joel Embiid. The organization should have known that and never given him the extension. This situation with Joel Embiid, while frustrating, also, I kind of feel is more on the organization than the player himself. He should have been shut down this entire year. And maybe that knee would be in better shape right now or have less issues in the future if he wasn't just trying to tough it out and just get pain injections in his knee to manage pain. Joel Embiid is one of the greatest players to ever suit up in Philadelphia for the 76ers. Joel Embiid could have had a Hall of Fame career. Joel Embiid is going to be one of the greatest what-ifs in NBA history. Is there any point early in his career? Anthony brings up 22, 23. Is there any point earlier in his career where they could have managed things differently? I don't know. We secure, nope, the Amazon owns their. Yeah, and now that Amazon's in charge, the whole entire 007 franchise is going to change, but it's going to be a little while until they make some announcements and stuff like that. I was watching a little bit of the Oscars last night and realized how little I actually get out and watch movies, because outside of Conclave, there hasn't been one movie that was on any of the major awards last night that I'd even heard of, let alone watched. Begs to differ. Why do I watch National Treasure 300 times a week, but yet can't expand my horizons watching Oscar-nominated movies? Because honestly, I haven't heard of any of them. It is what it is. Whatever. But it's because I'm too focused on the Sixers to worry about this. Nice tribute to Hackman. Yes, the Freeman tribute to Hackman was very well done. A couple of the celebrities that passed away this past year, I kind of forgot about some of them, honestly, Brian. The in memoriam, there was a few names. I was like, oh, that's right, we did lose that guy this year. I totally forgot about some of those guys. But yeah, that was well done. I was not a fan of the James Bond performance. They had a couple singers performing a couple of the James Bond songs, Live and Let Die, Skyfall. Wasn't a fan of that performance. I thought it was a little meh. It wasn't the greatest. Some of the speeches were okay. Some of them were a little whatever. But I just realized how little I watch of movies, because every year I watch the Oscars, and every year I'm just like, Thought Conan O'Brien did a solid job hosting. Solid B+. Nothing too controversial. Nothing too dead flat, whatever. The bringing out the firefighters of L.A., that was very nice. That was a nice little spot right there. But yeah. But wait, let's get back to the Sixers conversation here. Will Joel Embiid ever play a basketball game again for the Sixers or anybody? And I'm still having a little trouble getting all the information on what this medical exemption is. So there is supposedly a medical retirement exemption, so that we could get off of this Joel Embiid contract, so to speak, but Joel would have to retire. What do you think Joel Embiid's mental state is right now? Do you think Joel Embiid, we're all talking about retirement. The rumors are the Sixers are hoping for it. Is there a scenario where Joel Embiid is actually contemplating retirement at this point? I mean, you have to think he might be, but we haven't heard that from him. That Sandman joke didn't work at all, but very on brand. Yeah, exactly. Look, O'Brien is not everybody's cup of tea. He's good. Not great, in my opinion. I was never a huge O'Brien fan. But, yeah. just the Oscars in general are weird to me because you got all these celebrities together, celebrate movies that if I haven't seen half of them, I bet you half of those people in that audience haven't seen half those movies either. So, I don't really get into it. I was happy to see Conclave win one, be nominated. I didn't realize it was going to be nominated for so many of them, but hence why I recommended that movie on this show so many times. But is Joel Embiid himself contemplating retirement at this point? You got to think he's at least had that thought go across his mind. He's sitting around the house with his supermodel wife and his little boy Arthur, and like, I want to be able to hang out with this kid. I don't want to be a cripple. The knees are never going to get better. They might be tolerable, but they're never going to get better. I think it's a fair question. Will he ever play an NBA game again? And I don't know the answer for sure. If Embiid wants to adjust his playing style and become a role player, that's fine. I don't know, Mist, if he can even do that. He's not going to take a pay cut, per se. I don't think you can renegotiate contracts in the NBA like the NFL. They're locked into that contract unless this medical retirement exemption becomes a thing. He needed to adjust his playing style. That's my answer of how could we have managed this situation for years now? He could have managed his playing style or adjusted it 3 years ago, 5 years ago, and maybe we wouldn't be in this situation. If he learned how not to flop, we wouldn't be in this situation. If he would have learned not to be the center point, maybe we wouldn't have been in this situation. If the Sixers would have forced him not to be the center point, he could have been a Hall of Famer, putting up 20 points, 12 rebounds a game, playing 30 minutes a game. But that wasn't good enough for him. I don't know if he can even be a role player because I don't think those knees are ever going to be able to get up and down a court again frequently enough to play in the NBA. This ain't half-court basketball. This is full-court basketball. Yes, all good stuff is streamed. I think we got through the first 4 episodes of Season 3 of Jack Reacher. I hate that Reacher is now a week-to-week thing. That's on Prime. That's what we're watching right now. But now we got to wait a few weeks. It is what it is. Excuse me. Who let everybody down? Did Joel Embiid let this franchise down? Did the franchise let Joel Embiid down? Did the fans did Joel let the fans down? Who let who down the most in this Joel Embiid situation? Because that I'm not sure about either. I really, and I put this out there on Twitter the other day, and I got a lot of hate back on it. Joel is washed. He very well may be washed. That is not an insult, like you might feel like it is. It's something that I feel bad for. The franchise let Joel down and the fan base down, Zach. How about that, right? Embiid not suited to be a role player, poor passer, poor rebounder. And I think it's more than just that, Brian. I think it's more also the fact that he just doesn't want to be a role player. He knows he's capable, when healthy, of being the most dominant player in the NBA. And he can't get past that mental block. All this Sixers talk is depressing. It is because of this statement here. Joel is washed. I got crushed on Twitter, K1, for putting this out there, that I feel bad for Joel Embiid. I do. I have pity on him. I feel bad for his mental state, let's say. The fact that he is so frustrated that he had to go around Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse and go straight to the top. He had to go straight to Josh Harris and be like, yo, something's got to change here. I need to be shut down. It goes to show how dysfunctional this franchise is, for sure. Another mock draft. Maybe we will. Maybe. No, we don't. We'll get to Eagles. We got Eagles talk on the agenda. I set it up in the open. We can talk Eagles and how Washington fans think we should be scared because the Commanders had it. Deebo Samuel to their wide receiver room. That ain't going to make their defense stop the Eagles from hanging 55 on them. And I don't think the Commanders remember that we have the two best young cornerbacks in the NFL, in Cooper DeJean and Quinion Mitchell. So Deebo Samuel does not scare me. Washington is anointing themselves Super Bowl champions already because they added Deebo Samuel. And that's just not the case. Not at all. So that is on the agenda, as well as the Eagles did hire their quarterback coach, Scot Loeffler. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. A college guy. Only has 1 year in his long, illustrious coaching career in the NFL. Quarterback coach at Detroit in 2008. Been the Bowling Green head coach the last 6 years with 3 straight bowl games. He worked at Temple for a while in 2011. He coached Brady. He coached Tebow. That was something kind of crazy. So there is NFL topics that I'm putting out there. Yeah, I don't know when the next PM mock draft or PM show will be. We're going to have a slight dip in show production this week, but we'll make it up to you with a PM show. I said, watch out if Daniels gets a weapon. Deebo ain't a weapon. Let me tell you something. Deebo is a diva, a drama queen. Deebo is a guy that just isn't that great, or as great as people think he is. Just what it is. Daniels, top quarterback with no weapon. Daniels has weapons. He's just I'm not worried about it. NBA's collective bargaining agreement is a complete mess. The $200 million he's getting is taken away from the money other players make. Absolutely. And I've said this countless times. You know that I think that there's going to be a massive lockout / strike whenever the current CBA is up. There's no way the NBA can continue with its current way of doing business. There's going to have to be changes, drastic changes in the NBA in the coming years. Did you see Deebo's gut in an Eagles jersey rooting for them in the Super Bowl? I did not see that at all, News. Well, now he's Washington, and Washington thinks they're winning the Super Bowl. Not just the NFC East, the Super Bowl, because of that move. Good morning, Steven Fuentes. We are on to a great one this week, the Arnold Palmer Invitational. I've already got notes put aside for API for tomorrow night, Fairway to Heaven, 6 p.m. It's easier to understand quantum entanglement than the NBA salary cap. Yeah. I mean, I say the same thing about the NFL salary cap as well, K1. It's that there's a reason why you got to be book smart. You got to be like a statistician or a financial, a bookworm, an accountant, like a Howie Roseman type to really manage it. Because those things are complicated as hell. It's string theory 101. Yeah, basically. I think I could open up a wormhole to another dimension easier than figuring out salary caps in sports. Deebo is so great that San Francisco took a $16 million dead cap hit to get rid of him. Yeah. But Washington is winning the Super Bowl because of Deebo Samuel. I am not concerned. Here's my concern about that is, and this was from the conversation with Chris Franklin on Thursday last week, that the division is going to be the Eagles or Commanders for the next 3 years. So we've got to stay a step ahead of them because we want home field advantage in the playoffs. Does Howie Roseman panic and now overpay for, say, Myles Garrett just to counterpunch Washington's punch? I say I hope not, because I don't think you need to counterpunch. Because Deebo is a good receiver. Is he a great receiver? No. Spooky action, what? San Francisco's decision to trade Deebo is a huge mistake for them. It should affect us. It should affect us any more than it currently does. Yeah, it doesn't affect us. But Washington loves him. NFL cap is relatively simple. NBA is freaking nuts. If you think the NFL is relatively easy, then you are a much smarter man than me. I did not catch Rogan. I don't really listen to Rogan. I don't listen to much outside of local Philadelphia sports podcasts. As soon as Deebo leave, I be talking again. What? What's Deebo leaving? Washington is a team on the verge of being relevant in a way that they have not been in decades. Deebo makes them better. It might make them a little bit better. It gives them another weapon on offense. It does not fix their defense one iota. So, but as an Eagles, I don't think it affects the Eagles because the Eagles have the best secondary in the NFL. Big wins from the Raptors and Pels last night. Sixers got to get that 5 spot. Even when the Sixers try to lose, they fail at losing. I know it's cool to see Quentin Grimes put up 44 or whatever it was. But, man, you're playing the Warriors. Joel Embiid's done for the year. Paul George had 3 first-half points. You still can't lose that game? Come on. Deebo is washed. Mark, I agree. 1,000%. There's so many Washington fans freaking out because of this Deebo Samuel trade. Oh, we traded away Jahan. I had multiple Commanders fans come at me and say, you guys gave us a third for Jahan Dotson, and we got Deebo for a 5th. I'm like, so what? I would rather have Jahan Dotson than Deebo Samuel at this point of their careers. Deebo was a great receiver. Now someone joked that he's a few biscuits away from diabetes. Yeah, look, I don't know. Noom said he's got a little bit of a gut on him. That is what it is. But he's also washed. He's a drama queen. It was a Friday reference? Okay, sorry. I got a lot on my plate this week, Nooms. A lot on my plate. I don't see this affecting Eagles much. That is what I meant. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it might make Washington's offense a hair better, but don't make them NFC East champions. I don't even know. I don't even know if it fits their system. I haven't even thought of it in that aspect. I've just been thinking of it in the fact that he's just not that good anymore. I mean, I shouldn't say that. He's still a good wide receiver. He is not a great wide receiver. He is not a needle mover. He's not, you delusional Eagles fans. We're delusional Eagles fans. Always delusional Eagles fans. He's a flex weapon that will help on offense. I think Washington thinks they will reinforce the defense in the draft. Yeah, I would have been more concerned if the Commanders went out and traded for Myles Garrett than Deebo Samuel. Deebo can't run routes, but he's better than what the commies have behind McLaurin. Yes, that is true. I'm not getting this Deebo excitement about Washington, I know. I mean, seriously. That nonsense about Nick Nurse changing Tyrese Maxey's jump shot are what nightmares are truly made of. What are we even doing right now? Changing Maxey's shot is ridiculous. Nick Nurse is trying to get fired, Deebs. Plain and simple. Changing the jump shot is a move to get fired. Nick Nurse is trying to get fired so bad, he's going to try to make the Sixers win to screw that lottery pickup because he wants to get fired. And I don't blame him for wanting to get fired, honestly. But seriously, he is trying to get fired. And I still don't get the Joel Embiid situation. So, Deebs, I want you to put your thoughts on. We've been talking this Joel Embiid situation early in this show. Thoughts on it? The Eagles are going back to back. Hey, I love it. I hope so. I think so. There's a strong chance for that for sure. I wanted Deebo 3 seasons ago. Well, 3 seasons ago, Deebo Samuel was a much different. After 2021, when he was an all-pro wide receiver, he hasn't been that all-pro wide receiver since then. I don't remember saying I wanted Deebo. Maybe I did. I don't know. I'm a big Grimes guy, and I'm very happy for him. He has a key to bringing the Sixers offense into this century. Just don't do it this year. I think they need to start benching him. Do we still got Reggie Jackson that could play over him? Would instantly make Washington a top 5 team in the NFL. Yeah, Myles Garrett would. Deebo Samuel doesn't really move their needle too far. I should say Garrett secures a top 5 spot for Washington in the NFL. I agree. 3 seasons ago, yeah, and 40 pounds ago too. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you guys think this is a bad mood, which I don't think it is. But yeah, you got to say, I don't get the excitement. A bunch of like you guys didn't appreciate Nick Castellanos. Some of us appreciate Nick Castellanos. It's not a bad move trading for Deebo. I mean, you gave away a 5th round pick. Let's not crush the trade itself. trading away a 5th-round pick for Deebo Samuel, you're not going to get somebody with his experience for in the 5th round. But Washington fans being delusional, thinking he's the missing piece. What did we beat the Washington Commanders by in the playoffs? 55-28? Something like that? Is he going to make up that difference? No. Is he going to make some tackles to stop Jalen Hurts? No. So I don't know why they think so highly of the move. It's a good move. It's a good trade. It's a fair value trade. 49ers taking that dead cap hit shows you what you need to know. Castellanos isn't a bum. He's a misunderstood player. How about that? 2024 screen movie stunk. I don't know. The NBA players and owners split television revenue, which is approximately $7 billion annually. $3.5 billion split evenly between the team's salary cap and $3.5 billion for the 30 owners' pockets. Yeah, comprehend that. Castellanos was the reason why the Phillies went where they went. I want Washington to get better. That way they could at least get to 14-point margin. Yeah, exactly. So they have less to complain about. It's a low-risk, high-reward move, but it's probably not going to work out. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to work out the way they need it to work out. Casty is not a bad player. They made a business decision, not a player, like a quality decision. I think Embiid's knee will never be 100% again. His athleticism is declining rapidly, and he knows it. He'll need to adapt his game and become stronger finisher, which is something he's not great at. See, this whole comment, when I asked for Deeb's opinion, I didn't expect Deeb's opinion to be so opposite. I don't think Joel Embiid plays again for the Sixers. I don't think Joel Embiid, I would put it at, let's try to put up a good gambling line. I'd say plus 500, 5-1, that Joel Embiid never plays a basketball game ever again. His knee is that bad, I think. And I think quality of life has to be a conversation. Is the dude even going to be able to walk again? Deebo is there to help take defense's focus off of McLaurin. He's not going to be enough to take their wide receiver core to the next level. Yeah. Like, the thing is, though, where Washington thinks that instantly puts them over the Eagles, we don't have to worry about scary Terry McLaurin because you just put Quinion Mitchell one-on-one on him. It's not like he's taking the second corner off of McLaurin. McLaurin's just going to continue to get single covered by Quinion. Cooper in the slot will knock Deebo Samuel back into 2022. The first time he goes over the middle. Misunderstood, yeah. You like that, K1? Cassie's the best hitter on the Phillies. I don't know about that. Misunderstood. Like you were trying to call out, Chris Franklin on Thursday because he wouldn't take. I wrote it down here, K1. You said, K1, take a stand, Chris. I wrote that down. I wanted to call you out on that for calling out Chris Franklin for being so politically correct on Thursday. I think this is fair. He's not a bad player. He's not a great player. He's a good player. That's all there is to it. Steves knows. Steves knows more than me. Do you see what I mean by Nick Castellanos? I know there's Nick Castellanos hate. There's also Nick Castellanos love, Zach. There's two ends of the spectrum, and there's no in-between on Nick Castellanos with Phillies fans. If Jeff Rulin could play another 12 games, and Joe is playing again at some point, I just don't see anyone taking that contract. Yeah, I agree. The contract is impossible to move. It truly is. And if he doesn't want to retire, then he's going to try to play again. He's going to have to try to play again to get paid again. I don't know. Just top to bottom, terrible management given the situation and giving him that extension last summer. I also wonder how much of this collapse is in Joel's head. I think the mental aspect of the pain and the mental aspect of his career collapsing is going to weigh heavily on Joel Embiid. I do feel bad for the mental state of Joel Embiid. Embiid is going to retire from the NBA so he can play soccer in France as a backup goalie. I mean, crazier things have happened. I think Embiid meeting with Josh Harris was very much about discussing all options and the possibility of retirement. I think it's weird that it had to come to that. And I'm really struggling to wrap my head around. I've never heard of a player going around his management team to go straight to the owner. The owner that enables that management team to be so terrible, too. It's like, going around your boss, not realizing that the boss is doing what he's doing because his boss is telling him to do it, which is keep Joel Embiid out there to keep butts in the seats. Cassie was their most clutch hitter in the second half. Yes, he was. Harris trading Embiid to the Commanders for cap relief. He could try. Minute Boy in the NHL. What? I'm sorry, that's over my head. I just put a brain cell behind the Sixers situation. How does the team not know that his knees were that bad? We've said it from the beginning. Duck. They had to bring in 6, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, 6 independent doctors from the outside to check his knee to see if it was okay to give him that contract. When you need 6 opinions to do that, you just shouldn't have done it. Plain and simple. AI did it his entire career, yeah. AI. AI was different, though. AI was, yeah. Sports teams nowadays, if you pee, isn't yellow. They're only thinking about ticket sales. 100%, K1. This whole mess. They should have shut him down from day one this season. And everyone's going to say, well, he shouldn't have played in the Olympics. I get it. The Olympics may or may not have exasperated this issue. There's no proof to that yet, really, one way or the other. But there's been an issue. And it goes back to his last meniscus injury that he played through. And they did the quick fix on it instead of the full surgery. And here we are. It's a degenerative problem. His knee is never going to be good again. Jason Peters also had a direct line to Jeffrey Lurie his entire career. Yeah, it's different with the Eagles. I don't know. Different organization. Sixers, it's different because I feel like Daryl Morey and Nick Nurse are just doing exactly what Josh Harris wants, making him money. How did they not know those knees were not fully degraded? I would like to hear from those doctors that evaluated him. Did any of those doctors recommend against giving Joel Embiid? If it came out that one of those 6 doctors said, no, don't give him that extension, those knees are done, I would be so pissed off. Right now, Embiid has played 50% of his career games. That's a problem. But see, this thing, we should have known this. When you draft a player that sits out because of injuries, his first 2 complete seasons, that right there should have prepped us for this moment. It really should have. You're shopping around for the answer you want, right? Joel Embiid has always been extremely self-aware. I think Nurse Morey are doing all they can to kick the can down the road and save their jobs. I think Daryl Morey's trying to save his job. I think Nick Nurse doesn't want his job. I firmly believe, Deeber, that Nick Nurse is trying to get fired. Going straight to the owner is very startling. Going straight to the owner is like a telltale sign that there's some dysfunction in that organization. There's some mixed messages in that organization, that no one knows who's in charge of what in the organization. Yes, he is retiring. Didn't we talk about that on Friday? Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Bringing up the fact that it's very hard to rank Jason Peters in the all-time great list of offensive linemen with the Eagles, because I know everybody currently wants to say Lane Johnson is the greatest Eagles offensive lineman, Jason Kelsey, but Jason Peters is right there. And there's an argument made that Jason Peters might be the greatest Eagles offensive lineman ever. There really is that argument. I know Lane Johnson is, but there's an argument for Jason Peters. Because they have that kind of working environment. The Eagles have a certain type of culture. I don't think Josh Harris is goes in the locker room and hey, anybody ever has a problem, you come to me, my door is always open. I don't think that's how Josh Harris works. Jeffrey Lurie, Howie Roseman worked that way. Hey, always open door policy. Hence why the players were able to go into Nick Sirianni's office and say, we need to run the ball more. Lean on us. That wouldn't have worked with the Sixers. Or that wouldn't have, no one would have felt comfortable doing that in the Sixers organization. I don't blame Joel for playing the Olympics, though. It was like, yeah, exactly. I don't blame Joel for it. I really don't. Ever hear of HIPAA? Josh Harris gets pressure from the league to play Embiid on national televised games. ESPN and TNT pay good money to advertise games. Yeah, I guess. They can always flex us out, mister. Agreed. In my opinion, Embiid knew he was cooked, and that was a big part of the decision. And he didn't even play. Like, let's be honest. Remember a couple of those Olympic games? He didn't even play in some of those games. Or in a couple of games, he only played a few minutes because they were saving him for certain matchups or whatnot, whatever the excuse was that they gave. I would love to hear what the coaches of the Olympic team have to say about Joel's knee, if they're being honest. This is accurate, K1. It is a shit product. And this is another one of those reasons. It comes down to whether or not the cartilage is degenerating in a diffuse way or a specific spot that would determine the prognosis moving forward. Well, they're talking about meniscus replacement or breaking the hip bone and pressure. They're the two surgeries that are being contemplated right now. NBA has zero transparency or integrity. 1,000%. I've been asking for transparency all year long with the Sixers, and with the gambling situation, they definitely have no integrity either. Remember that video of Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie behind the scenes reacting to the Cooper Dijon selection? What does Josh Harris do for the Sixers? Dude, burn it to the ground is exactly accurate. 1,000%. It is. Like you could talk about the success of the two franchises, but you can also talk about the culture that the top has instituted in all the franchises of Philadelphia sports. The culture in the Eagles organization. You see the videos? The Eagles staff Super Bowl party? Like just the ticket sales people, the concession stand people, security. My man Tom was there. They throw a big party. The culture in the entire organization for the Eagles is a 120% difference than the Sixers. Lurie and Howie walk through the locker room, weight room, and practice field a lot. Josh Harris don't even hang out probably very often in the Sixers organization. I think it's time to plan a train in the AM bus trip down to Key West in order to kidnap Pat Croce. Has Pat Croce finished his cancer treatment yet? Because if he has, then I will absolutely get him that. Plus going to Key West, you'll never get me to say no to Key West, just so you know. That surgery where they break the knee to encourage creation of meniscus is the last route. Oh, I know. Both surgeries that they're talking about, the knee and the hip surgery, they are, quality of life surgeries, not NBA all-star player recovery surgery. Those are they are talking about them, though. It's scary that that's what they're thinking about. Joe, should Jordan retire and come back as the Terminator in 2027? Sure. He should get. How did they do? How did they build Steve Austin, the $1 Million Man? Let's just put random mechanical body parts. Somebody said turn him into RoboCop last week. It's actually not that big of a deal for Embiid to go straight to Harris. Remember, Embiid doesn't have an agent to represent him when dealing with the front office. He doesn't have an agent? I didn't even know that off the top of my head. Maybe I did know that. If they want to break the hip bone, means they have fusing somewhere. Docs are very weary of breaking things to fix other things. Exactly. But the fact that that is even on the table of discussion, just think about it, that they're put this and the knee surgery on the table. That's scary. Josh Harris is an absentee owner. He 100% is. Josh Harris, I know you guys disagree and want to say Leonard Tost or Norman Brayman, but Josh Harris is the worst owner in Philadelphia sports history. He is. Plain and simple. I don't want to hear that he spends money. I don't care about the money. It's the culture. It's the chance of a championship. He's terrible. The worst. I don't know how much Harris even cares about the Sixers. I don't think he cares one iota about the Sixers. He's got his new toy in the end. All he did was one. Now, I will say, and I brought this up last week, and I'll bring it up again. He has partners with the Commanders, one being Magic Johnson. He's got Bob Myers working for him in a consultant role with the Commanders. You got two NBA legend minds there in Washington, at least one of them's got to be nudging him, being like, yo, your other team, you got to do something, bro. Not mention a new stadium deal in Virginia to negotiate. You think it's going to be in Virginia? Think it's going to be in like Leesburg or something like that? Or you think they keep it in the D.C. area? Maybe they move up to Bethesda? I don't know. I'm curious to see where that new stadium goes. Microfracture surgery is not an option. The cartilage that grows back is not of the same quality or the texture. They gave up on that. So the two surgeries I heard was a meniscus replacement or a breaking of the hip. They're the two that were brought on the table. He could be Darth Vader, be more machine than man, just replace all his limbs, and next time he suffers a face injury, just put the helmet. Yeah, that would be a kind of a riot. Instead of the Phantom of the Opera mask, Freddie, go Darth Vader mask. That would be something. What it feels like being a Sixers fan. Quote, it can't be bargained with. It can't be reasoned with. It doesn't feel pity or remorse or fear, and it absolutely will not stop ever until you are dead. End quote. Yeah, pretty much there, Deebs. It's frustrating. We'll say that. Yeah, none of the man-made stuff can hold up to sports, and the lab-grown stuff is still iffy. 1 week till tampering. Yes, next week is the tampering period. Free agency begins. How was 49ers able to trade Deebo already? The trade does not become official yet, but they can announce the trade. Deebs is channeling his inner Kyle Reese, Sergeant Tech. Yeah. Virginia makes most sense. Building codes in D.C. are insane. Yeah, and there's a lot of money in Virginia area, too. And there's some space, too. I don't know they have any more space in Bethesda for a stadium, that national stadium. Is that in Bethesda? Is this Nationals in Bethesda? I almost lived in Bethesda for a little bit. Josh Harris walks in 76ers board meeting, rocking a Commander's jacket and hat. All the Sixers are doing is trying to save face after the contract. Yeah, look. Honestly, like, I don't even know how to comprehend how bad Josh Harris is and how little he cares about the organization in Philadelphia. Phil Short gave us a behind-the-scenes look at studio. What? Trade is now in a handshake. No contracts have been fully signed. Yes, technically. Technically, yes. Is in Anacostia. I don't even know where that is, technically. Anyway, they're going to get a new stadium there. They'll get a new stadium before the Sixers do. Hey, whoever's helping fund that new Sixers stadium should be backing out of that deal so quickly. No reason to help finance a stadium for a dead franchise. Harris is about the money. NBA and NHL are flat or dying. NFL is making the dollars. Yes. And I said this since day one. Josh Harris bought the Devils so he can make enough money to afford buying the Sixers, so he can make enough money to afford buying the Commanders. It's plain and simple. And now that he's got the Commanders, he could care less. Care less about the Sixers. I'm pretty sure he could care less about the Devils, too. Although, I'm pretty sure he sold my email address. I get an awful lot of New Jersey Devil emails. I'm on Sixers mailing list. Did he sell my email address to the Devils? Pretty pissed off about that. If Embiid continues to play on his damaged knee, he will develop arthritis and need a knee replacement. Rehabilitation is more important than actual surgery. It all comes down to quality of life, mister. What's the guy want to be like in 10 years? When his second baby is running around. You want to play basketball or do something with his kid when his kid's in high school. Like, Joel Embiid has to think about quality of life. He's made enough money. Come to an agreement. The Kensington at DC. That's not a good thing, that's for sure. That is correct. Nothing is official yet since the new league year hasn't started. Yeah, exactly. Leesburg is like putting a stadium in. No, Leesburg's a high-end area, isn't it? Oh, no, I'm thinking of Fairfax. Sorry. I had an ex that lived down there, from college. So we used to go all around. She lived in Fairfax, not Leesburg. That's where the money. Fairfax is where the money is, right? Phil renounced the Devils. I'm just pissed off that Josh Harris sold my email address that I gave to the Sixers, and now I'm getting New Jersey Devil emails. Unless someone signed me up for something, which I highly doubt. Like, seriously. If I had a DeLorean in flux capacitor, I wish I could go back in time and stop the fire to Sam Hinkie. I would have loved to have. Yeah, Deebs, this is like this could be a podcast, or this could be a book that could be written. If we go step by step from day one post Hinkie till now, every decision, and go through like every decision that the Sixers executives made, but also compared to what else the league did at that time, like, and try to map out an alternate timeline where Hinkie stays in power and what would have happened. Like, I've had this thought about doing a Sam Hinkie what if. I just don't have the time to do it all the time. But a Sam Hinkie what if, step by step. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. Maybe we can work on this one together. It just makes you wonder if Harris knew about this all along and just pulled out of the deal himself. Maybe. But DC was against it. Maybe. 10 years, 5 years. Most of these replacements have 10, 15-year lifespans. Normal. So cold. I used to put my friends' emails on newsletters to get free prizes. Sorry, not sorry. Okay, got you. What's a book? Yeah, exactly. I also don't know how to write, It's a shame I don't know a writer that watches this show on a regular basis. Josh Harris has been the owner of the Commanders one season, and already has a deal for a new $3.5 million stadium. Yeah. Fairfax and McLaren counties are the money. Okay. It's been a long time. We're talking over 20 years ago that I was in that area occasionally. Someone needs to teach Josh Harris some master data management. McLean is in Fairfax County. I'm way too much Virginia knowledge on this show. Shout out to Arlington. Absolutely. Sorry, I meant Fairfax County and McLaurin. Yeah, okay. Look, you guys got way too much Northern Virginia knowledge for my liking. Way too much Northern Virginia knowledge for me. But guys, you're watching Training the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. Please, we've been over 20 current viewers multiple times. They hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've done those things, please hit the share button. Greatly appreciated. Started the show at 451 subscribers. Hopefully we continue to inch forward this week. There will be a few days, no shows this week. There will not be a show on Wednesday or Thursday this week. Friday is TBA, unfortunately. Just got to throw it out there. Today, tomorrow, maybe Friday. Well, no, definitely Friday because we got a special guest. I will pull my bootstraps on and get here Friday for our special guest. But there will be no show Wednesday and Thursday this week as I got to take care of some things. But just wanted to throw that out there. McLean is also, what? 500 keg party. I'm not having a keg party on Wednesday and Thursday. That's for sure. That is for sure. Uncle and cousins lived down there for decades, and my cousins served, so I know Bethesda pretty well. Okay. I dated a girl in college. I'm pretty serious for a long time. She was from down there, so when she graduated, I thought of moving down there. Glad I didn't because we broke up pretty soon after that. But I had a job offer at George Washington University. I was going to rent an apartment in Bethesda and take the Metro or the M or whatever into the city every day. So glad I didn't do that. Did you know Hinkie is a Daryl Morey disciple? Why do you want Robin when we have Batman? He worked under Morey briefly. I don't know if I'd call Hinkie a disciple of Morey because Hinkie had a plan. I don't think Daryl Morey ever had a plan. I love that when I asked ChatGPT about myself, it mentioned I am a frequent commenter on a show called. Really? Is that true? I love that news. Ask ChatGPT what they know about Phil Stiefel, and let's see what happens there. I don't use any ChatGPT. I don't use any AI stuff. I should, but I don't. All the three-letter organization employees like to live there, especially the upper management guys. Yeah, Nooms is famous. It is. It is. Everybody on this show is famous, right? In my eyes, you're all the stars of this show. Mitch A. Pooh, what's up? 18 more means we have not gained any new subscribers mid-show because we started at 451. So we are 18 away from Mitchie's goal, but not my goal. I do love drinking in Bethesda. Okay. Where Devontae Adams going? Where's Aaron Rodgers going, right? I can't wait to see what franchise ruins their franchise by bringing in Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. Hopefully it is the Giants, like there's rumors of it. has access to the Google backend. Does it? Yeah. I don't. I've watched one too many sci-fi movies. I just don't trust artificial intelligence. I just don't trust it. I don't want to trust it. Well, Mitchie Poo will miss it. Mitchie Poo will be like MIA for 2 days and then miss it. We'll be at like 466, and then the next time he comments, we'll be at 472. Yeah, that's just what it is. 12 likes is not good enough. We've had over 20 people watching this show multiple times. Hell, right now, there are 16 people in the YouTube room. There should be a minimum of 16 likes on this video right now, which is kind of annoying, Mitchie Poo, right? It's really easy. You just click. There's like 3 clicks. Like, subscribe, share. 3 quick clicks. It takes no time. And it's free to do, Mitchie Poo. It don't cost a penny. Right? That's what I say. Rodgers going to Giants is going to be hilarious and a disaster. And I can't wait for it. Can't wait for it. What people don't get about Josh Harris is that the goal was never to win. It was to build a stadium and own it. I think that's a very, 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 very fair point. Because that's where the money is, right? Having that stadium. Having a new state-of-the-art stadium. Concerts and whatnot. It definitely is a big deal. The sponsorships at a stadium. That's where the big money is. You know, Wells Fargo paying to put their name on the brand new stadium. That's where the money is. AI is fine if they are super focused on subject matter. General use AI becomes days. Yeah. 1923 new episodes. Haven't watched any of it. Yeah, I don't trust the AI. I should. I know a lot of content creators use it for different things and it helps them. I don't, but that's just me. Again, one too many nightmares about artificial intelligence taking over the world. Yes, I have had those nightmares. Why not? Who doesn't on a regular basis, right? But it is what it is. Anyway, back to the conversation at hand. Joel Embiid, will he play again for the Sixers? Why are the Washington Commanders so hyped for Deebo Samuel? And here's something I hinted at it. Nobody commented at it. The Eagles' choice for new quarterback coach, Scot Loeffler, and how I was kind of shocked that a relative unknown was brought in to be the quarterback coach for the Eagles. College guy, Bowling Green head coach for the last 6 years. Spent time at Temple, Coach Brady, Coach Tebow. Kind of shocked that the Eagles didn't go with a known entity like Frank Reich or Mike McCoy in that quarterback coach position. Kind of shocked that they went outside of the Nick Sirianni, the tree he's a part of, people with his connection. You know, kind of shocked that they went with somebody that wasn't on anybody's top 10 list of quarterback coaches. Just kind of a shocking move there that I hope it's a good move. I hope it turns out to be a good move. Binge Reacher season 1 because of this show. It's fantastic. The problem with it is, Big Al, is that season 3, they're going week to week with episodes. You don't get the whole entire season dumped all on one day. So we're caught up on season 3's first 4 episodes. Now I got to wait till Thursday to watch the next episode. What's up with that? I hate the point of streaming services are to binge shows, but then they create shows that you can't binge. What the hell? I have Super Gronk 3. My favorite feature is the crazy argumentative dialogue. We can cuss each other out for hours. Gronk 3 is okay. I only watch true crime documentaries. It reminds me how boring and normal my own life is. True crime, true documentaries in general, K1. I love them. I love a good documentary. I do. Scot Loeffler was Brady's first quarterback coach at Michigan. Yeah, he was. He also coached Tebow at Florida. All intents and purposes, a solid, well-traveled college coach. 20 years as a quarterback coach in college. Nobody was beating down the door to bring him to the NFL. Now, the one positive is he's got no connections to the Eagles. So he's going to bring in a completely fresh set of eyes and stuff like that. Fresh voice. So that's a good thing to get that fresh approach. I believe they are close to overtaking the NFC. That's why Deebo's brand and legacy has given them hope. I guess if we were in Washington's shoes, we'd be overhyping something like that as well. Waiting for Reacher 3 to finish. I should have. Unfortunately, we watched the first 4 episodes this weekend, and now we're stuck. But it's a great show. And season 3 is pretty solid to start. First 4 episodes. Also, Daredevil Born Again starts this week. Are they doing Daredevil a dump all at once, or is it a week-to-week thing? I don't have Disney. So I'm going to get Disney just to watch Daredevil. So I got to wait till I'm 100% sure that all the episodes are out so I can watch it. Lori knows how to mix personalities. That is true. And that's also where the culture of the Eagles is head and shoulders above the culture of the Sixers. Okay, so I'll just wait till Daredevil's completely out before I download and sign up for 1 month for Disney. Because honestly, I could care less about having Disney Plus. I just want to watch Daredevil because Daredevil was amazing on Netflix. I got to see whether they keep it amazing on Netflix or not. I hope they do. That actor that plays Fisk is one of the greatest casting choices of all time in TV shows right there. All right, we're top of the hour here. Still talking Eagles. Still talking Sixers. You talk whatever else you want. You talk the Oscars still a little bit as well. Hinted at that a little bit. And I'm watching the Oscars last night. And I'm sitting there thinking and listening to all these movies and how the only movie that was mentioned last night, period, that I'd seen was Conclave. And how I've watched National Treasure 470 times this year alone, but yet have not watched one Oscar movie outside of Conclave. Like, what is wrong with me? That actor that plays Fisk lost a lot of weight, though. He looks like in the pictures that he's still a pretty big guy. He was also on one of the Law and Order shows, too. Short-lived Law and Order shows. He's a really good actor. And he plays the Fisk role perfectly. Sure, Daredevil will be amazing again. They literally stopped production 1/3 of the way through to rewrite and reshoot it all. Sometimes that's not necessarily good. I wonder what, I don't care. I see Washington as a version of the Eagles in 2015. They have almost figured it out, but they aren't quite there yet. Yeah. Washington is going to be they're going to be a playoff team. We are going to be battling Washington for the crown of the NFC East for the next 3 to 5 years. And again, Chris Franklin was very, very right in saying on Thursday that we got to stay one step ahead of them because we want that home field advantage throughout the playoffs. We do. You don't want to be the wild card team. I get that. But I don't think Deebo moves the needle. And 11-12 was about putting too much in Andy Reid's lap when he put Jim Washburn in at D-line coach and Castillo at DC. That was Waterloo. After Chip Kelly, I think Lurie thought it best to be plugged in. Yeah, for sure. This has been the conversation, Marshawn. I wish you were here for the whole show because this has been what we've been talking about since the kickoff. Well, not only will he ever, the question is, will he ever play for the Sixers again? Will he ever play in the NBA again? Marshawn, we've been talking about this off and on for a good hour now about how I actually feel bad for the big guy, that this is what it's come to. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. It's a sad final act. It is. It's a tragedy. It was very good to you. He wasn't good to me. He didn't do anything for me. It wasn't that short-lived. It had 3 leads by the time Criminal Intent ended, including Jeff Goldblum. Really? I just remember him on the show. I was never a huge, SVU or like the original Law and Order was okay occasionally. It's a good show you could put on and not care about the season-long storylines. You could just watch a random episode. But Law and Order, I was never a diehard Law and Order fan. I don't care about who lines up at wide receiver 1 or 2, as long as we have Christian Parker, Cooper DeJean, and Quinion Mitchell and Uncle Vic. Exactly. And that's what I think Washington fans, Marshawn, don't understand. They think that move, Deebo Samuel move, single-handedly puts them ahead of the Eagles in the pecking order of the NFC East, NFC, NFL. And it couldn't be further from the truth. And that is the big problem because Washington fans have been starved for this kind of a team trajectory. And their trajectory is going up for sure. They've been so bad for so long that they're desperate for this moment. And their desperation is making them overreact to a simple move. I can't believe SVU is still in the air. Honestly, I can't either. And they're trying. They been in the last couple of years trying to expand that universe more. They brought the Stabler guy back and gave him his own show. Never really got into it. I don't know. Again, it's the Law and Order, universe is in the same universe as the Chicago PD universe and Chicago Fire universe. But I still I don't know. It just never did it for me. A retirement by Joe may be almost as valuable as ingratiating to the fan base as a ring right now. Yeah. Retiring and helping the team by retiring and also helping your well-being by retiring might save his legacy. If Joel Embiid never plays again for the Sixers, what is Joel Embiid's legacy? What is it? I don't know. Deebo trade is on brand for Josh Harris. Trade for a player with baggage and lukewarm production, yeah? Sounds about, I think he might be taking one page out of the Sixers there on that deal. They now have law and order with criminal intent Toronto. Really? Really? Last time Deebo played us in the playoffs, Ed Reed Blankenship put him on the ground. Can you imagine Cooper DeJean going at him in the playoffs? There was a CSI and NCI universe too. It was out of control. The CSI Miami, CSI New York, CSI Cyber. Nothing as good as the original CSI with, what was his name in the show? God damn. It's been so long since I've watched the original CSI. The original CSI was great. I was never an NCIS guy, though. Embiid's legacy is the Olympics. Embiid's legacy, wasted potential. Embiid's legacy to me is not wasted potential or the Olympics. It's the greatest what if unknown in the history of the NBA. The dude legitly could have been the greatest center to ever play the game. He was that talented. Let's be honest. He did things offensively that no center's ever been able to do. I don't know. I don't know what his legacy is. Joel's legacy is he always came up hurt at the biggest stage. He showed up when he needed him more times than not, but was always hurt. So his legacy is that he was never able to adjust his play to his body. I like Stabler when he joined True Blood as in charge of the Vampires. Did not even know that. Never watched True Blood. I liked CSI New York, and I liked all the NCISs other than Sydney. These universes, man. Everybody's got to have a universe, right? And that's why I'm kind of scared of Amazon buying James Bond, because now they're going to create the James Bond universe probably. We'll finally get that Jinx spinoff because of Amazon. Isn't what if the same as wasted potential? No. I'm trying to figure out how to say this the right way. Wasted potential is that he never tried. What if he is different? Wasted potential sounds really negative. Like he wasted it. It was his fault that he wasted it and whatnot. What if is, I don't know. I think it's a matter of perspective, maybe. What's great for camp value? Yeah. How many times can Horatio Sands take his glasses off, put them back on, and take them back off in the scene? We are going to find the guy responsible for this murder. Yes. Like I couldn't stand it. Never liked him when he was on NYPD Blue. Never liked him in CSI Miami. One overrated actor right there. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even know what the yeah is for, but sure. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's keep this going here. Keep this rolling here. Not totally his fault for wasted potential. The Sixers front office had a lot to do with it. So that's why I'm calling it more of a what if. Because to me, when you say wasted potential, he personally wasted all his potential. It just sounds too personal to say wasted potential. That's only one person's fault. But who wasted Joel's potential? Hard for me to fault someone who won the MVP of the league. Yeah, true. the theme song to see it. Yeah, it was pretty fire, for sure. Absolutely, great song, and even the video that it was edited perfectly. The yeah is for the Who song that Miami broke two into the song. Yeah, exactly. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. All right, gotcha. The front office wasted his potential. The front office wasted his potential, which makes him the greatest what if. How about we phrase? We put both of this thing. The front office wasted his potential to create the biggest what if in Sixers history. How about that? How about that for the way it works? I got you. I got you. I'm not even going to try. I'll ruin my voice this week. The voice is already shot this week. I already feel the voice hurting this week, but it is what it is. It is going to be a long, draining week. But we do what we do. We keep on keeping, right? Isn't that what we do? Keep on keeping. It's the only way we could do it. Sixers are a what if factory. The Eagles are a quarterback factory. The Sixers are a what if factory. And they have been for decades, right? This isn't the first time they've given us a great what if. I mean, it's been like this since day one as a Sixers fan. That whole Allen Iverson era was a great what if, right? What if Ben Simmons never put it in? What if Ben Simmons cared? What if somebody held Ben Simmons accountable when he was like 12 years old and taught him some responsibility? So the greatest what if is if Ben Simmons' dad would have spanked him on his hiney when he threw a temper tantrum when he was 4 years old, maybe Ben Simmons would have been a better player. We could trace this all the way back to Australia, right? Also, though, the season that Embiid won MVP, as soon as he won it, he clocked out of work like that season was over, and championship totally left his mind, and that's where he contributed to his wasted potential. I don't know. Maybe. What if Paul George didn't take the money and we got a few good bench players? Yeah. Joel Embiid's knee still was degenerative at this point, though. And that's the problem. Iverson was wasted potential. Tyrese is what we thought we had in Markelle Fultz. Imagine if that came true and him and Joel grew together. The Markelle Fultz, Ben Simmons backcourt with Joel Embiid in the center. Let me tell you. I was all for it. I was. What if is more a lack of closure? Wasted potential is more like Maurice Claret and implies an element of intentional sabotage. What is if the Brits never sent their criminals to Australia? We're getting it all over here. Joel and AI are a product of wasted potential because of the organization they played for. Sixers organization's been a mess for a very, very, very long time. They have been. And they have contributed to the waste. They have. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. But we have to find a way to move on, I guess. I mean, we barely talk Sixers on this show. And we will continue to barely talk Sixers for a long time. Because the Sixers organization in the scenario is not going to get any better. The next time we talk the Sixers, it's probably going to be more about what ifs with Joel Embiid when we talk about him again. Len Bias has wasted potential. AI and Joel produced 2 MVPs for the organization. What if Harden tried? What if the Sixers if Daryl Morey wasn't so deadlocked solid, set on James Harden, and traded Ben Simmons for 3 or 4 role players and draft picks? Yeah, I'm not going to get into Tyrese Halliburton yes or no thing, but there could have been a better deal. You didn't have to go after James Harden there. There's that what if. Imagine what if Colangelo double-crossed Danny Ainge and took Tatum at number 1. That would have been the greatest what if right there. That changes it all. What if Jake Knapp didn't triple bogey the 11th hole? Oh, I know. What if he just if I'm Jake Knapp, K1, I'm firing my caddy first thing this morning. That's all there is to it. What if Tobias Harris actually played? Tobias Harris was actually pretty good. What's up, Timmy Tim? Owner cares about counting money than the team winning. Second highest home average attendance in the league, despite sucking. Oh, and you know what? And I blame the fans for that, Tim. The fans, season ticket holders are stuck. I get it. But I would not spend a single penny going to support this team. Even if I had free tickets, I am not going. Because that is supporting the team. You cannot support the Sixers, but they do. They still show up in droves. It's crazy. It's really crazy. What if Bobby Abreu hustled and wasn't allergic to the wall? Don't bring Bobby Abreu into this conversation. Just don't do that. Let's not besmirch. We do not besmirch the name Bobby Abreu on Trending in the AM. What if Marshawn believed the six Simmons? Yeah, Halliburton. Again, I thought that was a 100% thing. There's rumors that it wasn't really on the table. Whatever. But I'm sure there are other options than trading for James Harden. As a basketball fan, you still want to see basketball, but the owner is in Miami counting money. Look, then go somewhere else to watch some basketball. Go check out a local high school game. Go check out a local college Big Five game. Spend your money elsewhere. That phantom trade was never on the table. Also, Halliburton and Maxey would have been awful together. Fine. I'm sure there was other trades on the table. Without a doubt, I'm sure there were other trades on the table. But he was so lock set down morning getting Harden. So Abreu's actually one of the best Phillies players ever. Oh, I agree. I am a huge Bobby Abreu guy. I say it all the time. He's a lot closer to a Hall of Fame player than people realize. He's not a Hall of Fame player. A lot closer than people realize. Probably. What is your over-under estimate for Embiid retiring this offseason? I said it today. I said 5-1. He never plays an NBA game again. But that doesn't mean he retires this offseason. I think they are going to try to figure something out to get him suited up next year, whether it's for the Sixers or to trade to somewhere else. They're going to try. Joel Embiid is going to try. If he can't get it, he's going to try till he gets all his money. No offense to anybody. He's got $200-some million on the table over the next 4 years. He's going to try to find a way to get as much of that money as possible, even if it means rehabbing nonstop. If so bad that Morey doesn't want Embiid to sit, Embiid had to go to the owners. You're just rehashing everything we talked about for the last hour, Tim. Agreed. It is, and your last 3 words here, it's a disgrace. It's a perfect summation of everything I've said this entire show. What if Redick just shut up and played in 2023? Might have won a Super Bowl. Harden would have been better than Paul George with what the organization is paying him. Yeah, honestly, you should have just kept James Harden at this point. I agree. Paul George and Bobby Abreu have a lot in common. No, Bobby Abreu actually played. Paul George don't like to play. What if McNabb didn't get drunk? I was going to say, what if he didn't eat bad sushi the night before the Super Bowl? Whatever made him throw up. Joel retires. Yeah, can write off his contract. There's also, and I'm still struggling to get all the details. I've Googled it a few times. I just find articles relating to Embiid, but no information on it. I don't have time to find the CBA to really go through it. There is a medical retirement exemption thing, or a medical exemption where they can force him into retirement, or not force him, get him to retirement, but still give him his money in some way, and it comes off the books. I'm having a lot of trouble finding the information. A lot of people are mentioning it in their articles and stuff, but no one's actually referencing the exact rule that's in the CBA. So there's some kind of medical exemption retirement thing, and I would love for that to happen. I would. So we can just move on. We'll still pay him, but he won't be on the books. You got to, I think there's multiple people. There's also, I did read one article where to get the medical exemption retirement thing, you have to have an outside doctor picked by the NBA and the NBA Players Association to sign off that he can't play anymore. Okay? That he's going to be injured forever. So, yeah. He gets that money no matter what. He'll retire and get it. But you want it off the books is the thing, Tim. So you need to come up with, I read your articles. I know. Paul George, Bobby Abreu, Billy Wagner. Billy Wagner's Hall of Famer. No, that group. Embiid ain't going to retire. He's all about the money. Always has been. No offense. Don't judge him for being all about the money. If I got $200 million on the table, I'm not walking away from it. More he comes off the cap if he retires because he doesn't have any bonuses. It's all guaranteed. Oh, money, sorry. Paul George, Bobby Bray, and Wagner are all going to be in Hall of Fame when all's said and done. Bobby Bray won't, but he could be. What if the Phillies didn't sign that loser Castellanos? Oh, my God. Stop, Anthony. Joe would come off the books. The NHL, however, keeps the money on the books if you retire on or after the age of 35. Paul George, a Hall of Famer. I believe that since Grant Hill and T-Mac are in the Hall of Fame. Oh, no. The way it's going, Embiid won't be able to walk away from anything too soon. Yeah, exactly. I really need to really truly understand this retirement thing and how to get off the money a little bit more. But I did read in one of the articles, maybe it was yours, Tim. I don't know. Maybe it was a different PSN writer. I read a lot of articles that were talking about how you have to get an outside doctor to sign off on the retirement to get the money off the salary cap in the retirement sense. I love when people judge about the money. We all would sell 100%, Big Al, 100%. Like it goes back to the Tobias Harris situation. People hated him because he made so much money. Well, dude, the Sixers offered him more money than he was worth. You think he was going to say, nah, hey, Sixers, I'm not worth all that money. Give me less. No. Well, there's $200 million on the table. You're going to do whatever you want for $200 million. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. If Zach Bond leaves the Eagles to go take $10 million more over 3 years than the Eagles offer, good for him. Good for him. Big issue with Abreu was the game's margin when the stats were compiled. His timing was awful, yes. Phillies don't sign Castellanos. They don't get past the Cardinals in 22, and they don't go to the World Series. Probably not. Meanwhile, Castellanos will usually hit around 269 or 25. Yeah, every game. I still think the end of this statement, Rick, that Castellanos is a Gold Glove level right fielder, something I did not have on my bingo card when we traded for him. Sixers, if Embiid retires, can agree to a buyout, which counts against the cap. If he's medically forced to retire, they can apply to have it removed. Yes, okay, and that's the thing, and that's what it's an easy summation of it right there. Okay, they got to get the medical forced retirement. If I had that kind of money coming to me, I would be playing drugged up with knee braces and crutches. Yeah, absolutely. $200 million, $200 million. Plain and simple, right? And I don't judge. I never judge when it's about the money. Who isn't about the money? I guarantee not one person that watches this show would turn down the money on any of these scenarios that we talk about our athletes. None of them would. None of you would. I damn well know I would. Everyone always says money doesn't buy happiness, but it sure as hell makes life easier. I totally understand taking the money. We all would. My point is he is not retiring if it means losing. Oh, I agree. And that's why the medical retirement thing, that there's what's said in this comment here is all we know about it, or is all that's being put out there about it, okay? That's the hopeful way to get this all resolved. Nick is the reason they don't have a World Series yet. Stop, Anthony. There's a lot of reasons why. Burrow had the same issue until later in his career. He had a few nice walk-offs, but he was too busy banging ladies at the bar every night. Money would turn Phil into a tyrannical prick. You mean I'm not already, K1? I would assume you think I'm that already. No, money would make me go away. You would never see me. If I had $200 million coming in, you'd never see me again. Sorry. I'd be living the life of leisure with $200 million. Money makes life easier. Take a huge stress off the table. Happiness is on you and always has been. Exactly. I always say two things. Money doesn't buy happiness, but it makes life easier. And anybody that says money is not important has never been broke. Okay? Let me just tell you something. When money isn't everything, you've never been broke. Okay? Castellanos didn't give up the 1-0 lead against the Mets yet. But let's not turn this. I didn't think we were going to get to a Nick Castellanos bashing conversation today or argument today. Not on my card. Maybe we'll talk a little Phillies tomorrow. There's some good and there's some bad coming out of Phillies spring training so far. I have bad knee and poor if my boss was paying me an extra $200 million with bad knees, okay, sure. Did you purposely rhyme that? Happiness can't be bought. It can only be leased on favorable terms. Yeah. Anyone that is an addict or is a slave to their own vices knows better than to take all that money. We all know where it goes. If you like what you do for a living, you already have your happiness. But more money would make that life a little easier. It would. Trust me. And yeah, if you got bad vices and you got bad addictions, I know money can make it worse. I do know that. For sure. Anyway, guys, we're at the top. We're at the end here. It's time to start wrapping this shebang up. So maybe we'll talk a little baseball tomorrow. Maybe we'll keep the Sixers in the conversation, for sure. We'll keep the Eagles in the conversation, for sure. Godfather 2, deleted scene. Money doesn't buy happiness is a trick of those with wealth to keep the poor without it. Love it. Stiefel, Freddie, love it. Love that comment right there. Love that line right there. Maybe we'll talk a little Phillies along with Eagles and Sixers tomorrow. Maybe we'll bring up the Nick Castellanos thing a little bit more tomorrow. Rick, I appreciate you, my man. I do. Absolutely. But I got to wrap this up. Got to get to work today, guys. So everybody, have a great Monday. Everybody, yeah. It was a great poll, K1. It's a great way to end the show right there. So we're going to wrap it up. Everybody have a great day. Please like, share, subscribe. Free to do, guys. Tell one, tell all. This is the best morning show in Philadelphia right here. Yes, that's a great way to end the show, too. My AI says if a player is injured, is deemed life-threatening by 3 doctors removed from salary cap. I don't trust AI. Yeah, we'll just close this out here. Anyway, guys, let's wrap this up, guys. Everybody have a great Monday. I'll see you tomorrow right here. Bring all this fire tomorrow as well to the conversation. Everybody have a great day. Go Birds. Bubbles up.
Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 julep. Pop, 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 pop.